Hello, welcome to a Friday Business News Report. It's now time to bring you a feature on the show today as we focus on food and other commodities price index. Now, the average price of 1 dozen of Greek eggs, medium-sized, increased on a month-to-month basis by 1.4% to hit 585 naira 64 kobo just last month from 577 naira 55 kobo in the month of July. This was disclosed by the National Bureau of Statistics in its selected food price watch data for the month of August. The report also shows that the average price of a piece of a Greek egg, medium size, increased on a month-to-month basis by 0.89% to sell at 53 naira 20 kobo. The average price of 1 kilogram of rice also decreased on a month-on-month basis by 1.1% to sell at 546 naira 71 kobo. Meanwhile, the average price of 1 kilogram of tomato also decreased on a month-on-month basis by 4.45% to sell at 396 naira 38 kobo in the month of August. Similarly, the average price of 1 kilogram of yam tuber decreased on a month-on-month basis by 1.05% to sell at 305 naira 48 kobo. Well, joining me now live in our Lagos studio to discuss this and much more, I have Chris Ugo, agribusiness expert and vegetable farmer. Good to have you on the breakfast show this morning.
Good morning.
Now, we've seen some gradual decreases in the price of tomato. We are seeing that in rice and then yam tuber. But the issue at hand still determines largely on affordability and availability. Nigerians are still lamenting on the cost of these commodities, irrespective of the marginal decrease we've seen in the price. Based on seasonal elements now, do you think we'll still see a further depreciation in the cost of these food items?
Yes, things will start going down from now on because the rain is going away, and this is our harvest season. Let me say it. Everybody wants to sell his product now. The only challenges we are having now is the bad roads and the rain. It took my truck 1 week to travel from Kaduna to Mile 12, which is not good for business. So as soon as the rain stops and the roads are a little bit more tolerable, things will gradually come down.
But the Ember months also drawing nearer as well, and then the reality is the prices of items also skyrocket. And talking about the duration, taking about a week, you have to deal with post-harvest losses, most likely. Paint a realistic picture for us, and then how does this also translate to your pricing of your vegetables when they finally arrive?
The post-harvest losses we are having now, we try to manage it because instead of bringing it to Lagos, we divert it to other areas.
Okay.
So what we do now is, if the truck cannot arrive here in Lagos, we probably take it to Benin City or Kogi State or Benue State or any other state that's
surrounding the area where
surrounding it for now. But very soon, I know the road will be more tolerable for foods and vegetables to come in.
Climate change definitely is one of our biggest realities at this point in time, so we cannot even necessarily predict when or not the rains are going to stop pouring.
Yesterday, it rained almost throughout the whole day in Kaduna. So nobody goes to farm, nobody do anything. So let's hope in the next few weeks to come, the rain is going to stop.
And then in order to reduce the logistical challenges we have at this point in time as well, we also have to look at the creation of new food hubs in different states.
Definitely.
How serious do you think states have to take this conversation? Yes, we see certain moves by the Lagos State Commissioner for Agriculture here talking big in terms of the investment volume we've seen to make Lagos State, for example, irrespective of it being a coastal state, to have much more, become a food basket, so to speak. How and when and why do you think states have to also replicate such initiatives so that in the short term we can also close this gap of this relative food crisis we have on hand?
I've said this before in this studio, that every state, not just Lagos State, every state needs to have a food hub. And now that our rails are started working, I believe, they also need to have cold storage facility attached to those trains. It will also reduce the cost of transportation of items on food. Take, for instance, if I can get a big train coming from Kaduna to Lagos, and it will only cost me half a price, I will use diesel transport to bring it here. Then there's no point.
And it will even cut the travel time.
Definitely. So with time, I know things will get better in this country, and I wish it comes fast, because people are getting it up to here. People are crying on the road, saying that the food prices are getting so much. We need to start doing something now.
I share your optimism that we'll definitely get things right. But in the meantime now, what are some of the practices, for example, as a vegetable farmer? Because I know laying crates upon crates of tomatoes isn't the best practice, especially looking at our bad roads and having to transport an extended time of the way. How do we store?
I'm one of the pioneers that bring the initiative of using replaceable plastic crate in my 12, which is ongoing now. We are no more using the raffia basket to transport.
Yes.
So we are using plastic crate to transport our tomatoes and other vegetables from the north to the west. So, and this can really fit in any truck or train, bringing it here to Lagos. So development is coming, but it's just too slow. And the government also need to, partner with the private sector and let this thing move faster than.
It sounds simplistic to say government should partner. What do you mean exactly? Because government would definitely tell you it has initiatives. We've seen the Anchor Boroughs program and much more. So what sort of partnership are you talking about?
For instance, I have a friend. His name is Ojewere. He transports his tomato from the north to my 12 through the train. And the cooling compartment of the train weren't working. By the time it gets to Lagos, it's already a cooked tomatoes.
Wow.
So if the government can make all those things work, we will go and use a private truck to be bringing food that will spend 3 days. With a train, you only spend 1.5 days, and it's here in Lagos already. So let's have trains that will be bringing just food. People are ready to pay because it's cheaper, it's more convenient, it's faster. Let the train start working. Let everything start moving. There's food from north to the west part of this country. So when we have train moving back and front, taking things from the west back to the north and bringing things from the north to the west, food price will drop drastically.
Okay, let's also talk about looking at processing as well in order to reduce the wastages we have, because definitely I'm sure you record wastages in as much as you try to reduce that.
Yeah.
The future of processing in Nigeria, going by the state of infrastructure we have now, government's body language to that as well, and then looking at other infrastructure, what do you see playing out?
Private sector will take a larger portion of this part because government doesn't have anything to do with business. Right now, what we are doing is we crush our tomatoes, we dry it, or
we'll make it into a paste.
We'll make it to a paste. That's what we are doing right now. But the portion at which we are doing it is too small. Every year, we have more than 35% of all the tomato produced in Nigeria on a wastage. Not even using it to feed animal farm or any other thing. Everything is being thrown away. That 35%, if you equate it to Naira, it's over 300 billion Naira.
We have to wrap up our conversation now. Let's also talk about the field of research. How robust would you want to see this field of study also redefine agriculture in Nigeria? We have to look at more crop resistant seeds, very strong, better quality seeds. We also have to look at better livestock that are much more resistant. Do you think we have a good research base to be able to build on the fundamentals we already have at this point in time to now start looking at how do we grow or have produce that can resist or absorb as much shock as possible from climate change to pest and a whole lot more, and then even the duration of transportation?
I will say the one I know very well, which is tomato. If you have a very good seed of tomato, which is the beef tomato, the one that comes from the north, if you know it very well, if we have a good practices, not cutting corners. When I mean not cutting corners, put the right fertilizer, put the right pesticide, and allow it to dry. Because many people don't know how to harvest their tomatoes. That's why we have much post-harvest losses. You don't pluck tomato when it's fully red or when it's fully ripe, as I may say as a layman. You pluck it when it's almost about ripe.
In that yellowish state?
In that greenish kind of state.
Okay.
That's when you pluck it. And make sure that there's no rain or water in that farm at least one day, so that the shell of this tomato will be thick and dry. With that, you can have that tomato, even without putting in any cold chain storage, to stay on the floor for 2 weeks.
Well, this is where we'll just have to leave the discussion for now. Chris Ugo, it's definitely a big conversation we'll continue to have. Every Nigerian is looking towards saving a little more, especially as we're approaching the Ember month, and we hopefully would see an increase in the reduction of price of, a decrease in the reduction of price of tomato and other vegetables.
Definitely.
It's been quite a pinch up till now. Thank you very much once again for your time on the Breakfast Show.